entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code for the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know the good. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darl, the movement dedicated to empowering men, uniting brothers, and building a strong coalition. This is more than just a conversation. It's a call to action. Join us as we uplift, support, and inspire men worldwide. Because together, we don't just talk, we lead, we grow, and we conquer. Are you ready to be part of the coalition? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Shaw and Daryl. Welcome everybody into the show today. Bro, what's going on with you, man?
Ain't nothing going on, bro. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Man, we good, man. Hey, we got a little topic, man.
Okay.
You know that it's gonna be kind of depends on what side you on.
Jump ballish, 50-50,
tip for tat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? All right, fraternities and sororities in church, good or bad. You know what I mean? So just the people don't know, let me get close to the mic. I was part of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, right?
Right.
So I ran into some other people, that's what they are, you know what I'm saying? But before I get into what I gotta talk about, because I can speak from experience because I actually lived it. So
right.
What's your thoughts on it? And we're gonna get it from an outside. Like, I want to get the perspective from a person that's, never been in a fraternity. You're in church, and how do you personally feel about it?
Well, really, for me, man, I don't knock it. And what I mean by that is, because it's gonna be interesting to hear your side by you actually being in a frat. But I feel like everybody can come to the to the house of the Lord, right? That's how I see it. But I think where people kind of get it thrown off with is when you got, like, when they start doing frat things in the church. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, especially older saints or whatever, I understand some people may feel like, hey, it's a new day and age, and it's multiple ways you got to reach the youth or whatever, what have you, right? But I mean, of course, you're gonna have all kind of frats, sororities, whatever, sisters, line sisters, whatever you call them, that's gonna be members of churches anyway. But I don't think a lot of people, they just don't feel comfortable with the with all the, like, if you got church service, you got cues in there or something like that, and they go to hopping or whatever, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I never witnessed it, but I have seen, some videos of people, kind of turning the church out, like that. And a lot of people won't really pleased with it.
Right. All right, so all right. So being involved in churches, frats and sororities, fraternities and sororities, being in churches is a good thing or bad thing. It depends on how you look at it. You look at it like spiritually. Some people look at it culturally. Some people look at it historically. So we're gonna start before we really get into what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna make the case for them being in the church.
Right. Okay.
Right. So many members of the Divine Nine, which is the top 9 fraternities for the black I can't think of it. Y'all know what I'm talking about though. Panelytic, whatever. They know what I'm talking about. That I can name all of them. Y'all want me to, but it ain't important right now. They bring strong leadership skills, community service, experience, and organization excellence into the church. Which for me, they can help the church, help grow the church, from a community, outreach perspective, right? They focus on mentoring, education, philanthropy, and align with the church's mission. That's what the church want to do, right? All right. So they bring a sense of belonging, especially among Black Christians who have long used them as spaces of empowerment and support. Like whether people like it or not, it runs deep. Like like the fraternities and sororities in churches, it runs deep. Not just on the white side, black side, the white side, all of them, right? They can provide outreach channels for younger generations and professionals who might not be otherwise active in church life. They share the same values. Many of the founding principles of Greek organizations are service, scholarship, brotherhood, sisterhood, moral character, overlaps with the Christian ethics. That's the way I see it, right? Now, if we go back into some of the stuff I read, does that sound like it's a bad thing to have them in the church?
No,
because it'll help grow the church, right? All right. So now we're gonna go to the ones that make the argument against it.
Okay.
All right. Some argue and criticize the rituals, the oaths, and the secrecy of fraternities and sororities that conflict with biblical teachings. The alliance with idolatry, oaths, like in Matthew 5, 34, 37, Exodus 20 and 3, having no other gods and stuff like that. Some say that their loyalty to one's organization can sometimes overshadow loyalty to Christ. The division, like church, some say church should unite as like one, but they feel like some Greek organizations could separate that because they had like the cliques and all this stuff like that, right?
I got you.
Some pastors and theologians question whether identifying so strongly with a worldly organization dilutes the believer's identity in Christ. Now I'm gonna go back over some of these. Okay.
You good. You can look at it like, I guess like you were saying, like a lot of people look at it as worldly.
Yeah.
Some do, you know what I'm saying? So, but as far as each individual that's a part of a sorority or a frat or fraternity, if they coming in, they just coming to service, they just coming to get some Jesus or whatever, and that's it. It's cool. They contributing, they doing the tithes off, whatever it is they doing to keep the church afloat or whatever, with the different programs or whatever. That's cool. But I think, like I say, a lot, like especially like the older people, I don't know how some younger people may feel the same way, but a lot of the older saints, they're like, when they get in there and start hopping and the stuff like that, like they would do at parties and weddings and stuff like that. I think that's when they may have a problem with it. Okay. In my opinion.
All right. So let me ask you this: you went to the military, right? I did too. Did you have to take an oath when you went in? I do solemnly swear, and all the other stuff you had to say. Okay.
No doubt.
All right. So, I ain't taking either side. I'm just trying to break this thing
Right.
down. All right. When you go
Yeah,
to
break
work,
it down for me.
when you go work for a company I worked with Pepsi Cola years ago, and they had me sign this paper that said I won't tell none of their secrets.
Right.
Did that stop people from buying Coca-Cola?
No, I didn't.
McDonald's, did stop people from buying hamburgers?
No, sir.
So when we go to talk about these oaths and stuff like that, right? I think they kind of look at it as like being a part of the fraternity. Any organization that I think that you deal with, they're gonna have some secrecy about it.
Yeah, they have something in place, something.
So that the reason being is that you don't want anybody to just come in and infiltrate your company.
Right.
You don't want to you tell them all the secrets, and guess what they do? I think they had the same issue with Apple and Samsung a while back. Somebody worked with there, he took the secrets and went and did something similar to the Apple phone. So I think they sued them and all that stuff like that. So the point that I'm making is that I don't think the oaths should be, and the secrecy of a fraternity should be a conflict. I understand, like, you should have put no other guys over. If I'm in the military, which I was still in it, and the ones that are in the military and the ones that are in the military and in church, as long as they got God first, then him, then his wife, then his family, then the military, I don't see the problem.
Right.
I just don't. I'm trying to figure out when they said the oaths, and stuff like that. I did one. I do solemnly swear, and the little rest, all the rest of for the military. I have yet to hear anybody say that's a problem. Don't join the military. I don't want the military in the church because they took oaths. Is it because of a benefit? Because what I have found out, when I was active as Phi Beta, what I've actually found out is some people, because they don't know the secrets, they make up secrets.
Okay, I got you.
Of what they think it should be.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
But it's crazy.
I laugh.
Right, it's crazy because I that's why I said I was interested to see what you had to say, because I never heard anybody say, they looked at the frats and the sororities as, as by them taking oaths. I think that's what you said.
Yeah, oaths.
As far as like by them taking oaths, which should keep them out of the church or something like that. You said, I think this was, I never heard that.
Where they shouldn't be in a fraternity and serving God at the same time.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You got to choose one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
And I don't see a military man that take an oath, pick whether he got to serve the military or serve God. I haven't seen this. And I know, we're gonna have some people in the comments. I mean, in the chat.
No doubt.
That's gonna comment. So I want to see what it is, because I'm not taking either side. I'm Christ. I'm just gonna be clear with that. But I do want to make it. I want to make a even argument for both sides. They do bring a lot to the church. Let me say this before we get ready to go to break, because we got like a minute. I gotta get on the church. I got to get on the church for a minute, because I see these Greek letter organizations. They do fundraising, they do clothing drives, they do food drives, they do all these other drives. But I don't see the church as active as doing it as I would see, like them. They are really active, and I'm trying to figure out, and I know it's gonna bother some people, but by me saying this, but I gotta say it how
go ahead on.
How it got to be said. I don't see the churches, some churches, as active. Mostly the ones that's talking about the fraternities and sororities, I don't see them as active as doing fundraising as much as those organizations are. And we'll be right back right out the break, y'all.
All right.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcasts, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 back sponsorship group page. For every veterans wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathsacrossAmerica.org/MBR. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk
Sir.
133 with Shaw and Daryl. Today we talk about fraternities and sororities in church. Is it good or bad? Some we laid out in the first segment, some good and some bad, right?
Yep.
I personally can see both sides of the argument. I was part of Phi Beta Sigma and part of the church, so I can see both sides of it. But I just don't know
and
where the divide comes in at.
Yeah, and then before you went to break, you were saying like you don't see any of the churches that's shown in these fraternities and sororities, right? You don't see them doing fundraisers, but those are the sororities are, and the fraternities are. And most of the time, man, when you have members in your church that are in fraternities and sororities and stuff like that, they're pretty good at fundraising.
Yes.
And and they're pretty good at, what's the word I'm looking for? Directing.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So I don't know why you would kind of want to shun them or kick them to the side, like, because everybody's supposed to come in and get Jesus anyway, 100%. If you ask me. So a lot of times, like I said earlier, a lot of times, I think, hey, most of the time people in churches that are sorority, are in sororities or in fraternities, they're usually the planners of, like you said, coat drives, food drives, all that stuff like that, a lot of stuff like that. So I guess, man, like, outside of, to me, for that, like I said, the older people, for me, if they ain't in there, trying to do a step show or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people gonna feel uncomfortable with that, inside of the church, that's the only red flag that I would see. But outside of them just being affiliated with something like that, I wouldn't look at them, like you said, you take oath. If that's the case, then like you said, you talking about taking oaths, like a lot of military people, vets and everybody are, in the church. So we took oaths. So
yeah, for sure.
Do we supposed to be in there?
I'm saying, so what I'm saying, and I know the church gonna get mad with me, but what I'm saying is that, they are, when you are in these organizations, they teach professionalism. Now you're gonna have the party hoppers, you're gonna have all this stuff where they're gonna do all that. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're young kids. Yeah. But when you get somebody that's older and they have grown through the ranks and they still part of this fraternity, some people, I've heard some people say, well, they still connected to what the fraternity is connected to. So what is that they connected to? Well, some people say, well, it's the money side of things or whatever. And I know the church finna get mad. Lord help me.
Go ahead, let them use you. Let them use you.
But the church It's people in the church connected to demonic stuff, dog, that ain't part of fraternities and sororities. That's why you talk about fornication, liars, cheaters, stealers, killers, murder. I mean, all this stuff that we talking about. And I wanted to bring light to this because I think that I think they kind of get the bad end of it when they say, when fraternities get the bad, and sororities when they get the bad end of the stick, when they just say, well, they could, if you're a part of that, you're connected to this and you need to renounce them and you need to do all of that stuff. Now, some theologians, because I know they're gonna be in the chat, right? If they ain't already they're gonna be in the chat about this, because this is a hot topic in the churches,
right?
Because you have, I think it's, for me, I think it's kind of important to kind of like learn like the history, right, of it, and then you can kind of understand why people hold it so dear. Like, let me give a little bit of history, right?
Okay.
Greek letter organizations like Alpha Phi Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, Omega Phi Psi Phi, Zeta Phi Beta, Phi Beta Sigma, and many others began in the 1900s, right? Phi Beta Sigma 1914, Zeta's 1920s, Q's 1911, Alpha, all the numbers, 1913s, all these, all of them. But they were born out of a need to respond to racism and exclusion and equality. So when these fraternities were built, that's what they were built on. So when people say, well, it's connected to like the demonic side of stuff, and is the foundation of these fraternities won't found it like that.
The foundation was church.
And some people say, well, you don't know what the leaders, what the founders, what they were connected to. So do you know, like, the churches that people go to, do you know what your leaders were connected to before they founded the church? I'm not saying.
I think too, man, I could put this in there too, outside of, among other things. I think sometimes, man, it's probably a little bit of jelly or envy in there, because sure. like when if you got some people in the church who ain't never done anything, they ain't never done nothing. That's all they, they want on the football team, basketball team. They never been in the military. They never did anything, right?
Yep.
They just been just a regular Joe Blow or whatever, right? So when they run across these people, like, and granted, now some of these people in these fraternities and these sororities, they are they are high mind. You got a high mind.
Some of them are, for sure.
Yeah, but some of them don't.
Yeah.
But I guess when some of these people that's in church that like I said has never done anything, never been a part of anything, when they see these people that's in fraternities and sororities, they kind of get a little jealousy going on, like, oh, look at them, they think they somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
education, look at the little sweaters they got on, the little letters.
Yeah, so they kind of, I'll throw that in the bag too, as and mix that up a little bit. Is that some of that can be going on too?
Absolutely.
But like I said, now granted, now some of the fraternities and the sororities, now they really got high minds now.
Some of them do.
You know what I'm saying? So that can rub people the wrong way too.
And you know what I think it comes from, like the history, because like, okay, like black students back in the day weren't allowed in white fraternities. They didn't.
Right.
If you had a certain type of hair texture, you a certain skin color, that's why you had all these other fraternities that were started. When you have all these different exclusions from your own race, like that's why certain fraternities were started. Where if you think about it, the Qs, if you want a jock and play football and all that kind of stuff, you probably weren't gonna get picked most times, and it'd be the ones that didn't play football and get picked. It'd be the worst ones, the ones that cause all the havoc, because they want to show, it's just different things, right? So I think when they do make it, they feel like, hey, I work hard for this. I'm gonna let people know I work hard for it, whether you like it or not. I grind for it. I did all this for it, and I did this, and I got a degree, 2 or 3 of them, and I got connections with my brotherhood and sisterhood all through.
Right.
I'm sorry that you offended by that.
Right.
But I work hard for it. You had the same opportunity.
Yeah, when you bring that up, that's funny, man, because he, like you said you was talking about the Qs, right?
Yeah.
And the boys be talking about the Kappas. The Kappas supposed to be the pretty boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like when they, when they see they stepping over top of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like they so cool or so sweet or whatever they are. Man. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people don't like that. The same with I think you correct me if I'm wrong, because I won't attach to none of that. But like I think it's like the AKAs are like that.
It's supposed to be the pretty girls on the women's side,
all that, yeah, that's the ones that, you know what I'm saying, you when you see AKA or Deltas or whatever, you see them, they up there, they don't speak to common people.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at it like that, even though we got relatives that's Deltas.
Yeah,
but see, they our family. So, but I'm just saying, outside of that, when you see people like women or whatever, Deltas, AKA whatever, they with the boys say they bougie. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little bit. They
you know
can
what I'm
come
saying? You got to put it out there like that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But to take the top off of this thing, that's what a lot of people look at. They're looking at that.
Yeah.
They may not say that, but that's why they're looking at it. And then when they bring that kind of spirit in the church like that, they're still holding on to that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. The thing is, you have, now let me say this to the Greek people, to the Greek letter organizations, because you made a good point. Listen, y'all gotta stop being so bougie, and y'all, the dudes that were the dudes gotta stop being so cocky.
Yeah.
Listen, you can still be effective as a Greek, or we would have in a fraternity, and not be bougie or not be arrogant. You know what I'm saying? I think that what happens is, like you said, because I'm in a network of people that goes up the ladder, and I network with so many people. They feel like a lot of guys feel is like this. When they join a fraternity, I got an army of brothers behind me. So if you want to test me, all I gotta do is call the bros. And that's kind of the problem. Like, it was not founded on that. A lot of them was founded on education aspect of it, built on a generation of people around the world where you can network and help each other out, and not only just help each other out, but help other people while you doing all of that. So as far as it being an issue in the church, I'm gonna read some things, like some scriptures, and you can kind of pull from what you think. You know what I'm saying? But I personally still don't feel as though, if you're Greek or you whatever, I don't feel like it takes away your effectiveness in the church. Because if you're a planner, you're a planner. If you You fundraise, you can fundraise. No matter, because if I wasn't Greek and I had something to bring to the table, you'll take me. It wouldn't be no problem. We wouldn't have no issue and wouldn't be talking about it. Now, some churches don't even care.
Right. And just like real quick, I know we kind of close up to the break. It's like you were saying, if you can fundraise, you can fundraise. Like you say, if you're Greek, just like, just take for instance real quick, like when the guys do when they do tailgating at these games, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they have these classics or whatever, they do the tailgating. That's really kind of like how these guys do fundraisers.
Yeah. Organization, bro.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's pretty much what you're talking about.
Yeah, they can just organize, like, they get together and say, hey, look, let's put our money together.
Yep.
And they got a treasurer, they got the system set in place, treasurer, secretary, president, whatever, just like a company, and they run it as such. Now, when we come back after the break, I can kind of tell you why. Folk look at it the way they
okay. This gonna be good right here.
I can tell you why they look at it the way they look at it, because the Greek didn't kind of messed it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They done messed it up. You know what I'm saying?
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Hey, we'll be right back after the break, y'all.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133 with Charles
Yes,
and
sir.
Earl.
Yes, sir.
Today we talking about fraternities and sororities in church. Is it good or bad? Now,
Okay, this getting ready to get good now.
let me tell you how the fraternities and message.
Get ready to get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I want to tell you how the fraternities and mess this thing up. Now, you said something that was earlier. You were saying, you was making the point that, they seem like high-minded, right?
Or I really wanted to say bougie, not to cut you off.
No, you
Yeah, but
bougie.
yeah.
That's what they act like, and the dudes act cocky.
Yeah.
They got the cockiness going on with them. So,
let me say something. Let me say something real quick. Like I said earlier, we have some cousins that are deltas, and for the people that's in the chat, know they are not bougie.
Nah,
but we are talking about the sororities and the frats as a whole. When you run into random people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Majority of them is bougie or uppity or whatever. So I just want to add that in there. So, so somebody get this, they be like, oh man, they got cousins in there. They like that too, huh? But no, our cousins are not like that.
Nah, they not like that. I ain't like that.
Yeah,
when I was in there, I won't like that.
Right. Yeah, they came from us. They ain't like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This where they mess it up. So
okay, go ahead.
So you take fraternities and sororities, right? So you take a bunch of young people and you pack them on these campuses without no guidance. Like if you got a president, I was academic advisor at NC State, and I was at academic advisor at St. Aug.
Okay.
So when you take these people and you put them in there with no oversight, when the people see these folk, doing all this party hopping and tearing stuff up, watching videos of them fighting each other, they fighting on banging on colors like they Crips and Bloods and all this other kind of stuff, and they banging, they fighting it out. And some people look at it like, bro, y'all possessed with something. You can't bring that into the church, dog. And a lot of times they don't bring it into the church. And then they got this slickness because they think hey, you see these letters. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You got to run with your boy. Yeah,
I'm better than you. You talking about outside of church or inside?
Both.
Well, like you were saying, like when they come in with them letters, they kind of look at the people like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
In the church, you know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the problems. The fraternities got to put an infrastructure in place where the older people have to be more of, if you out there, you 30 and 40, and you still doing the same thing that the young people doing, you're not a good example of what they should be.
Right.
Although you may be successful in your own right, you got to teach young men. You know how you see some organizations, let's say the white organizations, they teach their young men Now they party. Now, hey,
Yeah, they get it in. Yeah,
don't get it twisted. They
right,
they're on another level. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But they teach them how to get these jobs at certain companies. Hey, they get one in, they get another one in, then they get another one in, then they get another one in, and that's how they grow.
Network.
Black fraternities sometimes or sororities don't do that.
No,
Like they won't help out like they supposed to. So he's like, hey, can you help me get a job? You don't know, is it?
yeah, you might have to go through the proper channels. It's certain channels that you got to go through. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So all right. Let me go and I'm gonna read what some churches and stuff like that think. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rituals and chants and oath in these organizations compatible with faith? Do they compete for loyalty and reverence that should only belong to God? What's your thought on that is?
Repeat that again now.
I
thought you was just reading. I ain't no questioning, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you the first question first, and then the second question.
Okay.
Do you think are rituals, chants, or oaths in these organizations compatible with faith?
The rituals,
and chants
that. Well, I think that for me, that's it's kind of about me not being in it, so I don't really know how, their rituals went down. How this stuff kind of go down, behind the scenes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm trying to help. I want you to help me out with what the ritual is, because I was in. I want to know what it is.
Okay. I got you. So, but I mean, if it's something super crazy over the top, like, going against God, I would say, of course, yeah. But, but I really don't know. Like you, I'm like, I guess you are like me then. I really don't know what those rituals that was behind the scenes that they're referring to.
Let me tell you something. As somebody that was at one point a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, I got the brands and the tattoos to prove it.
Yeah, you do.
I ain't had no rituals, bro.
But like you said, but you did say earlier, like I said, they make them up on y'all.
That's my point. That's the same way. Now I can go a little bit deep. I'm talking about fraternities and sororities, but I can't go to the Masonic side where people make up stuff and say, hey, the rituals and all this other kind of stuff like that. I ain't never go through no ritual. A ritual to me is when you doing blood sacrifice and all kind of weird stuff.
See, that's how I look at it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how when they talk about the ritual, that's what I kind of look at it. Like, is that what they're doing? Because like I said, I never been in neither one, but so I don't really know how it is behind the scenes. But if you're doing that kind of stuff like that, then I would say, yeah, it's going against God. Like you said, all that
ain't none of that
crazy stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
let me say it like this: where I went through at, we ain't had none of that going on, right?
Right.
All right. Do they compete for loyalty or even reverence that should only belong to God? We talking about fraternities now.
You said, do they compete?
Yeah. Do they compete for loyalty or even reverence that should only belong to God?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't either.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. I wouldn't think so.
So I'm gonna read some stuff, right? So the Bible speaks clearly about divided alliance. No one can serve two masters. Matthew 6:24. Do not swear at all. Let your yes be yes or your no be no. Right. So even Paul said, have no fellowship with darkness. So who made the rule up that fraternities are darkness?
Right. That's what I was going to kind of ask you that too, because like I said, even down with the you was with them too, with the Masonics.
At
you
one
know,
point, yeah.
People were saying that too. So I don't have a dog in the fight on that either, because I wouldn't, I wasn't a part of that either. But some people have said that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm the reason why I'm bringing this up because some people have taken what their thoughts and their own ideologies and their own made up, fabricated stories that they done read on the internet and made it to this whole big thing where, if you're part of a fraternity, you're associated with darkness. Now, I just read earlier what it was based on. The foundation was education, scholarship, service. In any one of them ones like that sound like darkness to you. Scholarship, which is school; service, which is helping folk; service, which is.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. Networking, like you reach and help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like a network. It's a web.
That's all it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't
look at it as darkness, but like I said, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. I think when my man, I forgot that Pastor Dewey, whatever his name is, but I think when he did that, man, over the I think it was like back during the New Year, New Year, watch night. I don't know what I just remember that. And he had all of them in, and they was doing the line dancing, and they was doing
too much.
All the steppers they had, everybody in there, they had all the nines in there, right?
That's too much.
And it wasn't a church service. They said it was, but when you see it from the outside, it won't that. And I think that's what we are talking about. We trying to clean up today. Yeah. That's what I think. That's what the people, they can't unsee that.
Yeah.
And he told them that there wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Definitely something wrong with that. I don't side with that at all. Because when we're talking about that, you are definitely bringing the world into the church when you got folks strolling and party hopping, and they, you got one going down this aisle and the other one's down this aisle, and they trying to compete against each other, and they trying to. It's definitely not a church service.
Yeah, and that's why, like you were saying, that's why I think a lot of people, they'll kind of equate that. Like those fraternities or sororities, they'll kind of equate that to darkness, because when he did that in the church like that, his church, and he was the preacher, the senior pastor, and he allowed that, you know what I'm saying, to go down like that.
See, that's the problem that I have. Like, okay, if we have some I would say oversight when it comes down to that, like if you are coming if you're in a fraternity or sorority, you coming into the church, a certain thing you got to lay down. You know what I'm saying? You can't come in, you can't come in every week. You got your cane twirling at the door all that. You can't, certain stuff you got to just kind of let go of. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is like what I found out, which is true what I'm about to read. Some see the symbolism, the secrecy, and the initiation rituals of Greek life as spiritually problematic, even dangerous. Now, let me say this. You mentioned this too. I do believe that they have an issue with the secrecy of it, because you weren't picked, or you didn't make it, or whatever. I think they have the symbolism, like like the Greek letters. They have an issue with it because they don't. All y'all got to do is study. Just go look it up. I can tell you what Phi Beta Sigma mean. Oli Bole Scoli. Phi Beta Sigma. It's for scholarship, service, and there was the other one, dog. Scholarship, service, and excellence. I think that's what I ain't been associated with it so long. So, but I'm just saying it's not what they think it is. Right.
But when they see y'all's tags real quick, the first thing they say, "Oh, look at them! There they go! There they come!
There they come!"
You got your tag with your little stuff on it, or whatever. That's like you said. People don't. Some people look at them they don't sit well with them for whatever reason. But that's why I think I said, that's why I said a little bit of jealousy earlier.
That's 100% what it is, man.
Yep.
And you know, I like, boy, we up against the break, y'all. Let me finish this up out of the break, y'all. I was about to get into something. We up against the break.
Yeah, go ahead and finish out the break.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcasts, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 back sponsorship group page. For every veteran's wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathsacrossamerica.org/MBR.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk 133 with
Yes,
Shaw
sir.
and Daryl. This is the last segment, so I got to go ahead and try to land this plane. Doc, we're going. You know, we said all we said, but we got to give them some balance. You know, I think balance is important. Doc. If your identity is rooted in Christ first, everything else, whether it's your job, sorority, fraternity, degree, whatever it is, must bow to Him.
Yep.
I got to bring it back full circle because I know people think that he all for the fraternities because that's not what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you know you're gonna have one or two that's gonna be like that.
All I'm saying is that I don't think it's a bad thing to have smart, educated people that can help grow the church. They can do different things inside the church. I don't think it's wrong. That's just me. Right. But I also feel like it's God first. That's the bottom line. I'm not coming off of that. You know, I think it's God first. And and like I said, I don't know who associated the Greeks with darkness and stuff because I don't really see the darkness in it. Because other than okay, so then if they want to base the Greek life, they party, the way they go through initiation, if you want to do all of that, then you gotta tie the whole college experience to darkness. Yep. That's all of them do the same thing.
And that's what it is. They do that. They look at that portion of it. Because like you said, you know, you got with these fraternities, you got people that's in they in trustee rooms.
Yeah.
You know, that's counting the money, you know, that's in these fraternities, you know. So
I'm telling you, like y'all got to give these fraternities a chance. I'm just stating my point, and I know it's gonna be some strong opposition.
Right.
Strong opposition is what I'm gonna meet, but I'm just saying, I think that them being a part of an organization does not make them, they shouldn't have to denounce or renounce that because they're a part of an organization that's helped grow in the community, doing great things in the community, is doing all these different things that help the youth, you know, doing tour drives and all this other stuff that they do. I don't think that they should have to renounce or denounce, whatever I think is renounce, the fraternity or sorority that they're in because of the history of some bad apples. Everybody didn't do that.
Right.
You know, I wasn't a big going out partying guy. I would go to certain, if you're doing set, I would have to show up to make sure y'all ain't gonna try to kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I wasn't a big party goer. I was when I saw the bros and whatever, we went out and grabbed food, eat and stuff like that. But I wasn't that. I wasn't front line, and every time they said Phi, Beta, I'm Sigma, I won't do none of that.
Right. So
I'm the front liner like that.
Well, it's probably a good thing then they look at the military a whole lot different.
She ain't lying, go to the military way worse than the fraternity.
Yeah, cause hey, we doing it every night.
Every night. I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, once you've been in for a little while, like you said earlier, you got the new guys that's coming in. You like you said, you get in your 30s. Of course, in military, you ain't in your 30s. You know, most of the guys get out after 4 years. But I'm talking about, you were saying the fraternities, when they get in their 30s, they kind of reel it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And see, like you said, when you've been in the military for, 2-3 years, couple of years, you still go out and get it in with the fellas. But you kind of turn more into like what you said you were.
Yeah.
You let the guys from just came out of basic, been in a year or two, they get it in, and then you start reeling them back in.
Yeah. You monitor.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna do it. You can't stop it. If they're gonna join a fraternity or a sorority, you cannot stop them from doing what they're gonna do. But it does not mean that you have to tie them to darkness. I'm
like I said, man, and like I said, like you was talking about with the guys partying, they tied them to darkness. I guess they look at it, man, because sometimes you still see these old guys, it's like 50, 60, 65 years old. They at a party or something, they were coming in with the line or whatever it is that they doing, whatever they do, right? And the people be looking at them like, I guess like, regular people, like you were saying, the older church people or just regular people in general be looking at them like, bro, y'all still doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just go somewhere and sit down.
You too old, bro.
Yeah, it kind of look like you said it's like they still haven't learned, they still love the party life. So I guess they kind of put that in or tie that in with the darkness.
Yeah.
The people from the outside.
And you know what's wild, like you say, if a Greek member is using like the platform, like the church platform, to mentor, to give, to uplift, which most of them do, to advance the kingdom's work, you let them do it. But if that organization, that the Greek letter organization, becomes a source of pride and spiritual conflict, you got to pray, because it says Colossians 3:17, whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus. You gotta, it's ways that you gotta do it. You can't. I think what happens is, like, when churches say, hey, you know what, they look at you different because you part of Greek letter. I don't know, you tied to the demonic world. And
but man, that is a good question. I wonder, why do they tie that, like, outside of the partying, right?
Yeah.
Why do they tie that to the demonic world? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just wondering.
Drop that in the chat. I don't know why they do that, but they automatically tie Greek letter organizations to the demonic world, darkness, and if you base it on drinking and partying, then you got to tie the whole military, every branch to the dark.
Right, because if you get a whole bunch of infantry unit guys together or something like that, we gonna sound a little louder than the Qs do, and might tear up a little bit more stuff than they do, most definitely.
Oh no, definitely gonna do that.
But they don't put us over in the dark world, you know what I'm saying? But they'll take the Qs and they'll put the Qs in the dark world. For sure. So I don't know why. Like you said, that's a good question. I wonder, why do they do that?
Dude, listen, I have been, wondering this thing for a long time, because I look at the characteristics that they consider as the tied up to the dark world. Well, you know, you don't know what their founders were. Well,
it's crazy.
Based on what I've heard from different or read about different organizations, all of them was founded on, you know, education, service, you know, all of that stuff like that. But you got these bad apples.
Yeah.
And they kind of turn it into something else. Just like, for example, I ain't heard, y'all don't try to hold me to this. I ain't heard every word somebody said. I'm just saying I haven't heard anybody tie the gangs to the demonic world, because they started out as a police in the, you know, their own communities.
Their own community, Yep, like the Panthers, Black Panther. You right. They don't tie. You right.
I don't know what it is.
But they make.
That's why I'm asking. Is it good
but
or
they
bad?
make y'all. Yeah, but they make y'all sound like y'all from the underworld or something.
Boy, from another world. I ain't lying.
Y'all from the underworld, bro. Y'all just demonic. Y'all from the underbelly of the earth or whatever. I don't know what it is.
I don't either. And then, like I said, I want to get back on this oath for a minute, right? Because we talked about the oath of the military. So this is the oath, is what they call a military oath, the civic alliance, right? When you join the military, U.S. military, you take an oath of enlistment. It says, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And it goes on, right? Whatever that is, right? So if they're able to say, I do solemnly swear, that's a swear, which is an oath, which means this is what I'm gonna do. Now, when I took the oath for Phi Sigma, I ain't read nothing like that. Well, I'm gonna take pledges to the underworld and all that other kind of stuff. I ain't seen none of that in there, dog.
It's wild, man. You know, I mean, I guess cause they look at the maybe it's something like they feel like y'all doing all these dances or line dances or whatever it is y'all, you know, whatever they do. Maybe y'all summoning the devil or something. I don't know what it is, but it's funny that you do say that though. They kind of equate y'all with the dark world, but they don't even do the gangs like that.
Don't do the game. I'm telling you, like, I don't understand it. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Is it good or bad? I personally think it's good. It just depends on you can't have a Sunday where you invite all the Greeks out and y'all have a big party hopping party, like off of what we playing?
No. Right.
Atomic Dog and all that in the church. We can't do that. They don't work like.
But they'll look at y'all. But like it's funny that you said that though. If y'all did that on a Sunday, I'll say like all your guys, or you know, you had all your Qs or whatever, and your boys, all y'all get together on a Sunday afternoon at the park, and you know, y'all say y'all gonna have something, right? They'll look at y'all. They'll probably look at y'all worse as a gang members, cause y'all got your t-shirts on with your letters on it, represent y'all's. I must just say y'all set. Yeah, they'll be looking at y'all like, you know, they'll be looking at y'all worse than they would gang members.
I'm telling you. And let me say this before I get out of here. I'm gonna show you the comparison that they make, right? So when you take the vow for the military, the oath for the military, it says it's not secret. It doesn't involve ritual or vows to a person or symbol. It's about obeying a lawful authority and defending a national document. It's not worship. And that they say for Greek letter organizations, this is what they do. It says most have private initiations, which is rituals, oaths, chants, and ceremonies. I don't recall when I went through basic training that my mom was able to come check us out because it was private. It's certain people they couldn't. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing. Most oath, chants, and ceremonies that members promise not to reveal. These oaths include pledges of lifelong loyalty, secrecy, and devotion to organizations and its symbols.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't what they dude. That's not what is pledged to. I know we're out of time, and I could go in more, but that's not what they're pledging to. They're pledging to a brotherhood, just like the military.
Yep.
If I got my boy beside me, I ain't gonna let him go down.
Right.
That's military.
That's all it is.
And life, I don't care who it is. That's why you have so many retaliations for gangs. Somebody shoots something up, the other one go back and retaliate. That's my boy you shot at or killed or whatever. So, so before we get out of here, let me say this. My personal take on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's a structure. The good thing being that fraternity and sororities in church, I think is a good thing. That's just my personal take on it. I don't think it's bad.
Likewise. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, thank y'all for joining Man Talk 133 with Shawl and Daryl. And don't y'all put no stuff in this chat that make us have to come back over here and do another. I'm just playing. I'm just playing, y'all. Thank y'all for joining the show this evening, man. Until next time, hey, God bless. Hey, shout out to Joe for having us up here, man. We appreciate the platform and all the other shows up here. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to veterans and all the music and all that good stuff y'all got. Until next time, we out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.